Hey YouTube land, just want to do another update video. Like I said, I will do things as they come up. I might record some other videos to upload later today. I don't know, it depends on how long I spend at the apartment. There's some other stuff going on in life that I have not been home much. So things have been a little crazy with everything else that's going on. So trying to squeeze things in as I can. I've said to you before that I believe that everything happens for a reason, even the randomness of things that can happen that might not make sense. Later you're like, that was all leading up to something. Main thing that made me say that was just starting this channel last, I believe, September, and how so much has changed. Just getting in that mind frame to want to do this and pushing harder to get things done. Once again, reminder, my cameraman is broken, so it's me and I'm moving around. I'm leaning up against a chair, but I'm just, yeah, sorry. Other thing, I've been babysitting my minion nieces a little bit more. That's my oldest brother's 4 daughters. The oldest is about to be 13 later this year, and then the youngest is in kindergarten. And from the get-go, when my brother and his wife were starting to have children, having the first one, they on their own decided that I would be called Unky Lala. And Lala came from my first nephew. I have 2 older brothers. The second of the 2 had his nephew when he was younger. His son, my nephew, and his daughter when he was younger from a first marriage. And then he has 3 more daughters now. So my oldest nephew and my oldest niece are in their 20s. They're both married and, you know, this, that, and the other. And when my nephew was 3, Teletubbies was huge, and he started calling me Lala based off my birth name. And I was like, you know what? I don't hate it. Okay. So he called me Lala. So then when my oldest brother and his wife started having kids, they came up with Unky Lala. And didn't hate it. They knew that I would not want to be called aunt or auntie or anything form of that. And they didn't want to push uncle on me. They weren't sure how I'd feel about that. Like, they knew I performed and I wasn't feminine, but, you know, I don't really remember what had been said at the time. So I was very okay with that. So I've been Unky Lala. When they were younger, I was Unky Yaya. And even though some of them are a little older now, that still comes out, and I love it. I think it's amazing. It's personal. It's family. It's tradition. It's me. It's who I am. So a few weeks ago, when I was babysitting them, I'm not really sure what happened, but a comment was made, and it wasn't anything bad. But I decided, because my brother and sister-in-law trust my judgment, and, you know, if things come up and their kids are asking questions, they've always been, hey, if they're asking within reason, you can tell them. Be honest. Don't lie to our kids. That's great. I love that. So I had a very honest discussion about how I felt and how I wanted to be called, because they know about Jax. They know about, that's my other name now. So we had a very honest and open discussion. There were some tears, and it wasn't in a bad way, because one of my nieces couldn't understand why she was crying. It was just very emotional, and, you know, that it is emotional for all of us. And that's what it is. So it was just explaining that I prefer masculine things, masculine terms, that I was born a woman, and I wasn't, you know, I wasn't comfortable being a woman. I am a man. That was how that was, and that's how that went. And I am so sorry, my arms are getting tired. So that was how that went. And then, since everything is coming up, I told my sister-in-law how talking to them was on my list. That I wanted to talk to them personally, one-on-one. And since I was babysitting again, I asked if I could. And they said, of course. Why? I was like, I just want to be respectful and I'll ask your permission before I do, because I'm bringing it up this time. And of course, that was perfectly fine and a good opportunity. And so I did. And there were more tears. And not just by them this time. One of their daughters was really upset by that my body was going to be changing. I'm eventually going to quit doing this. She grabbed me really tight and she said that she was going to miss this Unky Yaya. Which of course got me upset. because she was upset. And I told her, I said, of course, your feelings are valid. That is a very, very honest reaction. I get that. I understand that. But I told her to not be sad for me because this is something I wanted. And she's like, oh, for 5 years maybe? And I was honest, I told her 20. And the oldest kind of grasped that a little bit. And she's like, whoa, wait, what? And I was like, yeah. I said, I've known this since I was 18. I said, but I've kind of hid it at times. I said, I've been, and I told them, I was like, in the last few years, I've been more, open about it. I said, I legally changed my name, wasn't just using Jax as a nickname name, it's my name now. And I explained things to them. I also showed them fellow YouTubers' videos, which I think helped a lot. And some friends that I know, I showed them their pictures too. And I think that helped them a lot because I see them as much as I can, but there will be times when I might not see them for a month. And from all the video and picture research I've done, there's, when you look at yourself every single day, you don't notice things. Like, you don't notice that you've gained weight or this, that, or the other. So if you look at other female to males transition videos, it's a big jump every single month. And then if you just look, there were some people that I've been following and I've realized I've never seen them pre-T. So I looked to see if they had videos and I was in shock at how much they had changed. And there's some YouTubers that are still under a year, and I'd found a video or two of them talking about things recently, and I was like, do they have anything pre? And I went down and I was just blown away. I've noticed they're all still younger, so I don't know if this will happen with me since I am older. I have noticed that the 1 to 6 month mark is a big difference. And then those that happen to be 3 to 5 years, those are big marks too. A lot of changes happen in the first year from their experiences. There are YouTubers that say that they didn't get a beard. They were still patchy and just, prepubescent beards, 3 years in. So, but their face structure and their voice changed a lot. So I wanted these girls to be prepared for that because they do see me a lot, but like I said, there might be a difference, each time they see me. So like I said, I didn't want to spring that on them. I didn't want them to know after the fact. I wanted them to be prepared. And in case they come up with questions, they watch YouTube videos of different things that they like and this, that, and the other. And they asked to watch my channel. And I said I wanted to ask their parents first. So if you girls have found this, I love you very much. And I was glad I was able to do that with them before. Since, like I said, this is all coming up really fast, I didn't want to miss that chance to talk to them. And there's a few people I still want to talk to in person before this happens. There's some people I want to send letters to that I know I can't see in person. So I'm going to be doing that coming up soon. One of these days, this might stop. I don't know. Also, the group went well. It went really well. Yeah, okay. It went really well. Something else was brought up to my attention, and it wasn't done in a bad way. Get that out of the way. It was brought up in a very, very well thought out, something I need to really, really think about. I'm going to be male. I'm going to become male, and society treats men and women differently. And men have privilege and this, that, and the other, but it wasn't about that. It was about the fact that how much I do love children. I love my jobs that I get to talk to children and interact with children. And how men can interact with other people's kids is very different than how a woman can approach other people's kids. And I never would have come up to that on my own unless something bad had happened. So I'm glad that was brought to my attention. I brought it up to my sister-in-law and she's like, oh yeah, I wouldn't have thought of that either. And we went to my niece's basketball games, and like right after that, I waved at some little girl and I was like, shit, I gotta quit that. Like, I'm kind of scared about that. Like, that's gonna be hard. That's something that's gonna be hard. I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna have to look into and, think about and watch other people. Like, yeah, like, when I worked at one job, I was the balloon guy. Like, I gave all the kids balloons and this, that, and the other. And, like, I talked to other people's kids. Like, not in a bad way, but, you know, like, wave hi, say hi. Like, I like your shoes. I can't. That's going to completely change. And that really, like, I was glad. I'm so glad that was brought to my attention. So glad. So glad. So glad. But it's still throwing me for a loop because that was just a couple days ago. So I'm still... Yeah. I got a lot to learn. I got a lot to learn. So the group went well. It's every couple of weeks. But unfortunately, there is my insurance is not accepted there. And it is a therapy location and stuff like that. So I can't afford it as much as I would want to. So, and it would be really great for me, especially just starting. So that's going to be, yeah, there goes all that into it again. So I'm trying to take care of me in this process and doing what I can with what I have. So we will see what happens with that. So, but otherwise it was a great experience. Just a couple other guys that have already started their transitions. So I was the new kid on the block, which was fine. It was great. It was great to hear things that they were dealing with a few months and years in, and hear stories and experiences that they had had. And the topic was anxiety, which was a great topic to have. So it was, like I said, everything happens for a reason. I'd been invited a while back and I just never got around to it. And so, like I said, it was perfect timing. So that was great to go and do that and have that experience. And, you know, maybe I can do it once a month at least. And, you know, because something that I don't know is, if everything gets approved and I get started, I don't know what the cost is going to be. So since I've waited this long for this, this is a priority to me. So I want to have funding for this and see what I have to do to have this monthly and this, that, and the other. Was also giving a really good idea. One of the guys that have been on testosterone for a little while has realized it's best for him to take his monthly dose in stages throughout the month. He said that keeps him really level. He doesn't go through spikes and valleys of emotions and this, that, and the other. And that car probably just picked up on the thing. Sorry. Basement apartment. Parking lot's right there. Anyway. Getting long and winded again. So I might see if that's an option from the beginning, or if I have to do like a loading dose per se. I know what that is like with other medications. So, gonna talk to the doctor about that and see how that would work out, if I can be allowed to do that. That person had switched doctors and went in with that information to the new doctor and like, this is what I do and this is what works for me, and that doctor was great, that works. So hopefully I can go in with this information, because that's one thing I am worried about, is the moodiness and the swinging attitude and the changing. So that's why I'm trying to keep the mental stuff in check and doing what I can with the mental check. So yeah, that's where everything stands right now. Like I said, next couple days is talking to a few other family members and important people in person / face-to-face through technology if I can. So, yeah, that's what's going on. So once again, I appreciate you sticking along with a few of these long ones. There's a lot going on, so there's a lot to say and a lot that I want to make sure that is said and, like I said, chronicled for myself and anybody else that wants to see it. Or, you know, like I said, someone can stumble across this and is in the same boat as me. They may be waiting 30 years to start testosterone and think that they can't or shouldn't or won't be able to. There's someone that might be 18 and doesn't know what to do. You can get through it. You will figure it out. Keep Googling, keep making phone calls, keep asking people for help, even if they're people in support groups online. Do what you can. It's not impossible. There's a yes for everyone at the right time. So until then, just Jax. I'll see you YouTubers later.